Pastor Roy said, how God's so much bigger and wiser than us, and trying to see what he's thinking would be like an ant trying to see what I'm thinking. Like me with the anthill in my backyard. Those ants could have been praying to me all day. I wouldn't have heard them. There was nothing they could do about it.
Like Dewey said, are we before God like ants before humans, left to his mercy? How should we sensibly navigate this? Welcome to Saft Expose, where we lay bare claims, arguments and objections against Christianity for what they really are. The clip we watched is from the 22nd episode of the 4th season of the hit sitcom Malcolm in the Middle. The family joins a local church to get free daycare, and Dewey discovers that his elder brother Reese is acting lovingly towards him because of a spiritual transformation that Reese underwent. Visibly put off by his brother's new behavior, Dewey confronts the Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Munson.
I want you to release my brother.
Dewey draws upon the analogy of ants before him to describe how humans interact with God. I'm going to play the clip in its entirety now. I want you to pause when needed or at the end and see what you would have said to Dewey, or for that matter, the producer or scriptwriter. What Dewey says is a good example of a simple to debunk objection masquerading under the guise of a really smart objection.
Mrs. Munson, I want you to release my brother.
What?
Ever since Reese got in your class, he's been really nice to me. Trust me, it's creepy. I don't like this church. Ever since we came here, all I do is think about stuff. What kind of God makes children think when they're not even in school?
Well, now see, that is a torment. But I'm sure he has his reasons.
Yeah, like Pastor Roy said, how God's so much bigger and wiser than us, and trying to see what he's thinking would be like an ant trying to see what I'm thinking.
Yes, exactly. But we can trust in his wisdom and we can have faith that he is watching over us.
Like me with the anthill in my backyard. I spent days watching the ants, trying to figure out which ones were good and which ones were bad. But they all just looked like ants. So I started smiting all of them.
Well, that's
I was smiting them with the garden hose and with lighter fluid and with the lawnmower. And to be perfectly honest, I think I went a little crazy with the shovel. Those ants could have been praying to me all day. I wouldn't have heard them. There was nothing they could do about it.
But I don't think
And really, it's the same with us. There's nothing we can do about anything either. So why worry about it? Hey, this is making me feel better.
Oh, well, that's good. But
I guess all we can do is live our lives with as much kindness and decency as possible, and try not to dwell on God standing over us with that giant shovel. Bye!
Let's take Dewey's concern at face value and say kids shouldn't be asked to think or make any effort at that age. So now we can move on to the more theological bit. What Dewey is implying is that there is a big existential chasm between us and God such that he cannot know what we are thinking. Similarly, we cannot know what he is thinking or planning. This is the basis of his cynical theology. To begin with, Dewey went all out on that simple analogy, which was intended to show the chasm between God and mankind. We are all often guilty of this error. We drag out an analogy far beyond what it was intended to show to make an absolute mess of the whole dialogue. I've often seen people spend excessive time modifying the analogy to rebut the analogy without ever rebutting the argument. As a case in point, to rebut Michael Behe's proposal of irreducibly complex systems, John MacDonald set out to draw upon various types of mousetraps that could possibly function in simpler variations. This is because Behe used the analogy of mousetraps to advance his argument. MacDonald ended up not only fixating on various versions of the mousetrap, all to no avail, but he never successfully got around to rebutting the argument itself. Dewey could drag along the ant-human analogy only so far along until it broke down. God, unlike humans, has the ability to communicate with his inferior species, in this context humans. This is because humans were created in God's image and likeness, while ants were not created in humans' image or likeness. And the most powerful breaker of the analogy is that God the Son came down in the form of a human. Not only did humans behold his glory and interact with him, but he also resonated with us in our suffering. In doing so, we can have the utmost confidence that he knows us. This confidence hence rests not merely on our knowledge of God's attribute of omniscience, but also in the life of the historical and historic person of Jesus Christ. He therefore knows not only our thoughts, but also our heart. So unlike how Dewey was unable to hear the ants or how the ants were unable to interact with Dewey, our interaction with God is drastically different. Not only do we see God in human form through Christ, but we also have His Word with us, the Bible. Our knowledge of God, though limited on account of His infiniteness, is not based on mere speculation or erroneous philosophical hypotheticals. Thankfully, our God and our understanding of Him is much more complex and robust than a sitcom writer's vain attempt to use a kid to mock Christian theology. This goes to show why, as Christians, we all must dedicate time to learn Christian theology, lest we mischaracterize God or fail to neutralize any such mischaracterization.
Those ants could have been praying to me all day. I wouldn't have heard them. There was nothing they could do about it.
But I don't think
And really, it's the same with us. There's nothing we can do about anything either. So why worry about it? Hey, this is making me feel better.
If that was actually the case with God, where we are left to the sheer mercy of a powerful being that we had no idea about and had no idea about us, smiting humans at random, then no matter how good and noble that entity was, we could never feel good. We would always live under constant terror and perplexity. How would we have any assurance that there is a silver lining at the end? We've got no clue. But Dewey's words betray man's eagerness to have no accountability towards a higher force. This becomes clearer in the next phrases.
I guess all we can do is live our lives with as much kindness and decency as possible, and try not to dwell on God standing over us with that giant shovel. Bye!
Yes, it is quite relieving to write a tough exam without having someone supervise us. And guess what we will do under no supervision? You guessed it. We will write the exam honestly and with utmost integrity. No, we don't. No, we won't. We humans aren't great, nor are we good. Being kind and decent doesn't come naturally to us. Being selfish and greedy, now that comes naturally to us. In fact, being self-centered is what pays us the most. Even if we were to cooperate, we'll do so because it enables our selfish motives. But who is to say selfishness is inferior to selflessness if it is just us? Who are you to say that I must be selfless? Are you more human than I? If you were to adorn the robe of a judge or the uniform of a police officer, why should I heed your voice then? Aren't those just social structures that other humans like me drew up? Why am I bound to behave in a certain way in line with what other humans say? For if there is no law or lawgiver independent of humans, then aren't we the judge, jury, and executioner? Then am I not my
judge, jury, and executioner?
In that world, all morality and ethics reduces to be mere byproducts of social and evolutionary change brought about by the culture, time, and circumstances that they were birthed in. In such a world, even if we stumble upon good values that are inherently good, we can never cross the bridge to say that all humans are bound to pursue it. Wherein lies the authority that demands compliance to those values as our duty? What would our sense of right and wrong look like in a world where there is no God, no supervising authority or moral judge? Atheist philosopher Michael Ruse said, I appreciate that when somebody says, love thy neighbor as thyself, they think they are referring above and beyond themselves. Nevertheless, such reference is truly without foundation. Morality is just an aid to survival and reproduction, and any deeper meaning is illusory. Or as Richard Taylor remarked, the concept of moral obligation is unintelligible apart from the idea of God. The words remain, but their meaning is gone. So if Dewey were true, we wouldn't voluntarily choose kindness or decency because we wouldn't have any solid idea about what kindness or decency should look like. And even if we stumble upon the virtues of kindness and decency, who is to say that I must live my life driven by those values? Why can't I live as I wish? A godless world would be an unlivable world with no real sense of right and wrong. But we know that there is a real sense of right and wrong. So what does that tell you about the world we live in? Thank you for sticking till the end. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay subscribed for more and check out our bite-sized podcast episodes to learn more about how our moral understanding furnishes one of the strongest cases for God's existence. God bless.